Well, hi everyone, and welcome to another episode of Five Questions with from List Self Storage, where we sit down with industry experts to get valuable insights into the self storage market. Today, I'm joined by Gabe Woodhead, Director of Customer Service at White Label Storage, a third-party management company currently operating over 270 facilities across 43 states. They handle everything from customer service to maintenance with flexible, remote, and hybrid models designed to boost performance and profitability for self-storage owners. Gabe, thanks for joining me today. Before we jump into the questions, can you tell us a bit about yourself and your role at White Label Storage?
Absolutely. Thanks for having me, Cindy. So as you mentioned, my name is Gabe. I am the Director of Customer Service at White Label. I lead all the call center effort here. Myself, I have been in the call center world for about 10 years. I worked at Amazon, and then I have also led other tech call centers as well, which has kind of given a lot of experience of high volume call center support. I've been with White Label for the last 10 formative months. And I say that as I started, we had about 5,000 calls a month, and now we are towards 20,000 calls a month. So there's been a lot of scaling and growth that's happened over that time. And it's been really, really fun to be part of it and to see how to navigate all that growth as well.
Wow, that's quite impressive. So I appreciate that, Gabe. Now let's get into today's five questions and hear your thoughts on call center performance, training, current trends, and how the role is evolving as this industry becomes more digital. So our first question for you today, what are the key metrics you focus on to measure call center success? Things like pickup rate, conversion rate, or average handle time.
Yeah, you kind of nailed it. I think call centers specifically live and die by their KPIs, two of which that we keep at the top of our focus as they impact our clients the most. Our answer rate and conversion rate. So answer rate is really key and probably even takes priority over conversion rate for a couple of reasons. One, if we're not answering the phone, we're not able to support them at all. From booking calls to sales calls to service calls. If we're not there able to answer the phone and support their tenants, then we're not doing our primary job. Our goal, our call center goal is 90% answer rate. So we are looking to basically answer almost every call that comes through. However, those that do make it into voicemail, we of course call them back as well. And there's a lot that goes into achieving a high answer rate. We have to look at AHT, volume fluctuation, staffing, scheduling, agent occupancy, and a whole bunch of other nerdy call center metrics that we look at to make sure that we can actually be there and have an agent available to answer 90% of those calls. The other side is conversion rate. So we answer the call, and then the other thing that impacts our client's pocketbook significantly is, or the bottom line, I should say, is the our ability to convert leads into bookings. And so we target to meet or exceed the industry standard of about 60%, and we do what we can to help build our agents up in a way that they understand each facility, they're confident in the facility, the promotions that are available, the features they have. We even have started segmenting our support. So we have a team specifically dedicated to answering booking and sales calls. And we look at that data very, very specifically to try to help tweak it, honestly, call by call, day by day, week by week.
Wow, yeah, those numbers really do matter, right? Um,
They do.
so, what does solid agent training look like when it comes to self-storage?
Yeah, I think there's probably three main components that play into it. One that's I think standard kind of across the board is understanding the tools and the call flow. So how to operate all the tools that you have so you're not fumbling through between answering calls and navigating a CRM, understanding storage and site link, and then how to escalate calls, where to send information if you need to get the right support, but then also how you communicate with tenants. And I think in general, everyone focuses on, making sure that they have empathy when appropriate and are connecting with the tenants. But storage is interesting. Well, one half is is really what it is storage. The other half, there's a lot of people that are in need. There's maybe a loss in the family or troubling times, or they're moving. So there's a lot of stress that can come into some of these situations with tenants. And so being able to make sure that you can match their needs, listen to their concerns, and help them appropriately, I think is something that we try to make sure our agents are trained on. The next is
Absolutely.
industry information. So, if you don't, a good call center agent is a good call center agent, even if they didn't come from the storage world previously. So, understanding what delinquencies are, how promotions work, all the different lock types that a facility could use, how the importance of boots on the ground support and how to reach out to them. So, really understanding the ins and outs of the industry is key. And then maybe the third and most important piece that kind of flows between all three of them is facility information. When you manage 270 plus facilities, being able to accurately, quickly, appropriately answer the questions, make sure that you know the facility in and out is really important. So how to navigate the playbook, how to make sure you have the right information in front of you at all times is key and really something that we try to make sure that agents are able to do before jumping on any phone call.
Absolutely. Some strong onboarding can go a long way, it sounds like.
Very much so.
So how do you typically use recordings, transcripts, or other call data to help improve conversion rates?
Yeah, QA, quality assurance is a big part of our call center, and if not even just conversion rates, all contact types. We do 5 audits per agent per week. We've recently started using AI to increase the number of audits that we're doing, and then we do manual review as well to make sure that there are other pieces that either AI didn't detect or something that maybe we didn't even agree with them, but to make sure that there's still that human touch that's going into each of these contacts. We look at their opportunities in delivery, their confidence, again, their ability to understand and kind of project the facilities ins and outs, the promos, the features. And then I think another key piece of that is identifying the customer's needs, making sure that we really are able to hear them out and then provide them what they're looking for versus just, providing them what's available. And I think that actually helps improve that conversion rate. We also, as I mentioned previously, have been putting special teams together to handle bookings because we've seen that it is its own skill. So as we are looking at these contacts, we have the right agents that maybe have additional training or improved skill set to be able to help make sure that those bookings are getting closed. And then lead follow-up is another kind of specialty team that we have. And we receive all the leads from SiteLink and storage, and then we follow up with them, making sure that we can close any of those as possible. But to the data piece, we are constantly looking at different ways that we approach leads and how that might impact it. What's the frequency of follow-up? Does 3 follow-up attempts garner any better results than 2 or even 1? And that first one being in 1 hour versus 2 hours. Also communication type. A lot of times we'll get a voicemail. So is email or SMS the better follow-up? And so we look at the data on those results and are constantly fine-tuning and tweaking to see if we can get whatever it's going to get us kind of the best bang for our buck.
It's all very interesting information. Thanks for sharing that. So have you noticed any shifts in caller behavior lately, like whether people tend to book online first or call before making a decision, or maybe the other way around?
Yeah, storage has a really wide customer base and ranges across a lot of different demographics. So I think it's really important that we, as like the call center and customer support in general, meet the tenants where they're at as well. There's clearly, just an industry and just across all of support trends of self-service options, adding in AI, being able to book online, make payments online, auto pay, all of those sort of like self-service options. However, I think what we see is it's still very important to have the human support that's there. As I mentioned before, there can be a lot of emotion that are connected in with some of these contacts, and that is best serviced with another human that hopefully does understand that emotion from, family issues, or they're moving, or there's a financial issue. We can hear those and kind of better support them. And I think that we see that in some of the data that we see as well. And in general, uh, 60% of the bookings come online, but 40% are still booking over the phone. And in the day and age of, booking your flights, no one's really calling to book a flight. So the fact that 40% are still booking over the phone means that that's there is a preference to talk with another person. And I think they appreciate getting the reassurance that everything is completed correctly. They can answer any questions, even if they're small ones that maybe wouldn't come up as easy in an online booking, and that's what we're there for. We also see that for payments as well. We offer many options for tenants to pay online, to do auto pay. However, a large number still call us every month to make their payment, which is totally fine, and we're there to meet them where they're at.
Interesting. Well, it makes sense. Like you said earlier, a lot of this is very emotional, a very personal decision. So having that human connection makes sense why so many of your customers are
Sure.
still calling in and why that's so important. Um, right now, on to our last question for you. How do you see the role of the call center evolving as self-storage becomes more digital and remote managed?
Yeah, specifically on the remotely managed side, as more of the facilities are becoming remotely managed, the role of the call center becomes even more vital, since there's not anyone there at the facility to help answer any questions or concerns. They have to call someone, they have to call us to get that support. And if we don't know the answers, or we're trying to find the right information, or we can't answer the question, then it all kind of breaks down from there. So I think having a really strong call center that is able to support them across the board is very important. I think also, we kind of mentioned it already, the presence of AI and self help really kind of changed the role of the call center, but we will be there for the difficult situations and any special attention that's needed, to giving them the reassurance they need, and then ultimately following through with that to make sure that they know that their situation has been resolved.
These have all been really great takeaways, and thank you for sharing all this really good and useful information, all of your insights. That brings us to the conclusion of our segment. So thank you for joining me today. Before we wrap up, is there any news that you'd like to share, any recent developments or news for white label storage that you'd like to share with our audience?
Yeah, just one exciting announcement. So White Label Storage was recently ranked the top 10 operators by ISS, and it's just a wonderful achievement and accomplishment for us. And we're really excited to continue to push forward and see where things go in the coming years as well.
Well, congratulations to you and your team. That's a
Thanks,
huge
Cindy.
achievement. Well, excellent. Thanks again for being here, and thank you all for watching. We'll see you next time.